Right now, we did see that rotation on our cameras, the Houston TranStar camera that we showed you a few minutes ago as it was moving over 249, and that's that rotation that was just really that you saw right there where that confirmed report is. You see that icon is where we saw that confirmed report, which was near Grant Road. But currently right now, the storm that was producing this rotation has significantly weakened. We're still seeing some heavy rain and lightning moving I-45, and then we're seeing some of the lightning sort of just diminish with this system. But to the south of there, even across the city of Houston, we're seeing some heavy rain moving into portions of southeast Houston right now. I think for the most part, there's not a severe storm with this, but that's some heavy rain and lightning moving into South Houston. And for the most part, that we're looking at that tornado warned area. The National Weather Service still keeping it in place because it very well could run into more unstable atmosphere. But as we look at to see a closer view of where this was at, this is that confirmed report in around near Grant Road, where the spotter observed the funnel cloud. And I want to say, as we take a look at this right now, I believe that this little rotation just sort of moved off into the northeast. It moved off towards Cypresswood, Louetta, even Stubner Airline area. That is where this was spotted. This is the spotted location from the spotter. This is not where it was located per se, but this was where the spotter located that funnel cloud as it moved off towards the northeast, towards Stubner Airline and portions of the Klein area. So definitely we're seeing those damage reports now starting to trickle in from that as this storm is continuing to move into portions of northern Harris County and Montgomery County area. So definitely keep in mind that we still have, we're not out of the woods yet. I know that we're seeing some quieting, the storms quiet down, but we still have to wait until these storms off towards the west of us in around the Huntsville area, even just to the west of Bryan College Station. These are going to start pushing still our way, and this could potentially bring more strong storms as we progress through the rest of our evening and afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and show you our future track to show you exactly what is to take place here, and this is why we've kept that weather impact alert in place for today. So as we look at our future track, we are expecting this to continue, these storms continuing to push into portions of Houston as we head into the next maybe an hour or so, but we're also expecting this to continue showing signs of strengthening as we progress through the evening. So looking at future track right now, we are expecting this to continue. We could see maybe another strong storm between the hours of 3:30 to 4 p.m. But right now, like I said, it's these storms that are off to the west that are still having to push into Houston, and it's not really going to be out of the woods yet until at least 9 o'clock tonight. So 9 o'clock tonight through 10 p.m. tonight, we could see more of these stronger storms moving into Houston, and Houston's still going to be more so under the gun for some severe weather as we head into the overnight hours. So something to keep an eye on for 9 to 10 o'clock, even 11:30. We're going to still continue to track some pretty heavy rain with this as we go into later this evening. And these are not going to be nearing the coast at least until 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning. So it is quiet in some locations after these storms have moved through, but we're now expecting more so of these storms to continue at least until 5 a.m. And the threats do include a tornado, wind, and hail threat like we have seen already. This is going to be impacting travel across the Houston area as those storms are continuing to push through our area within the next few hours. So definitely as we look at the situation for the next few hours, we're not out of the woods yet. We are still tracking some of those storms off towards the west that still have to move into the Houston area. So we're not out of the woods. We still have to wait until these move through within the next few hours. At least until 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock is when we're going to start seeing this boundary move into Houston, and that's going to spawn off another round of storms for us here later on this evening. Jeremy?
All right, Chris, thanks so much. We are tracking damage reports. We're also tracking the status of your power at home or at your business. Currently, Centerpoint Energy showing about 188 outages as we zoom in on the map here. A cluster of those in that area in the north side of Harris County. As we zoom into the Grand Parkway here, you can see several outages there, about 6,800 along the Grand Parkway. A total of just shy of 28,000 outages reported by Centerpoint Energy. For perspective, that really is fairly minimal so far. And we've heard of several reports of damage in the Klein area. You're looking at some video in the Klein area from our weather tracker camera. You can see emergency vehicles there. We just got off the phone with officials from the Klein Fire Department as well as ESD, Emergency Services District 11. The two are neighbors off of Stuber Airline, roughly between Spring Cypress and Louetta. Klein Fire reports some damage to a fence. A trailer was moved. And at the ESD 11 complex, a rather harrowing situation. Two maintenance workers, as we work to get our video signal back up, two maintenance workers at ESD 11 were in an outbuilding when the suspected tornado hit. That building folded on top of those maintenance workers. We're told from a spokesperson at that agency that one of them was able to crouch down, another one was able to brace themselves on some sort of a rack. After that storm blew through, they were certainly shaken up, but no injuries reported to either of those. We have a crew en route to that location, and we're told those two maintenance workers are willing to share their stories, so we will be hearing from them. Back to the weather tracker, if we can take that video. This is, okay, that was from Colony Creek Village, which is just north of Louetta. So Chris, as we're kind of piecing together all of these damage reports, it seems like the heart of them, at least initially, are along the that corridor of Stuber Airline between roughly Louetta and Spring Cypress, which, you know, if we kind of rewound time about a half an hour, really correlates with what you were seeing on radar, does it not?
That does correlate. The damage that we saw, the funnel cloud that we saw crossing over 249 definitely was that moment, was when that rotation was heading over portions of northwest Houston. Right now, the National Weather Service, I believe, has allowed that tornado warning to expire, and so we are in good news in terms of that, but we're also looking at another strong storm with some heavy rain off to southeast Houston. But like Jeremy was just saying, that we did see that confirmed report, as you see right here on your screen near the Grant Road area, and that definitely had a more of a track across portions of just to the north of 1960. So this is just an estimate. This is not the exact track, but I believe you know, you have Louetta, you have 249 right there as it crossed over 249. We saw that when it was currently over. This is what we saw, where we saw that funnel cloud move over the Louetta area, the 249 area, and that's where the most for some of that damage is. This is just a rough estimate. This is not a confirmed track, but this is just giving you an idea of where that funnel was currently. But currently right now, the good news is that we have seen this expire across our area, but we are expecting to see that the system continue its more so weaken. But like I said, we are just not out of the woods yet. We still have a stronger storm to the south of downtown, which this is showing some signs of strengthening, but we are expecting to see this continue. It's more of a northern track here as this storm south of, this is near the Hobby Airport area. So I'm going to go ahead and show you along I-45 closer towards Hobby Airport. So both of our airports here in Houston are being impacted by storms right now. So first we were looking at that storm impacting the George Bush Intercontinental Airport, and now Hobby Airport is looking at a storm just to the north of there, and we are seeing some strengthening with this storm that is just to the south of downtown Houston currently right now. This is not severe warned. We haven't seen any severe characteristics quite yet, but this is just kind of a sign that something that we're going to have to keep an eye on within the next couple of minutes here as this moves into portions of southeast Houston. So just keep in mind that mostly as we head into the next few hours, we are expecting this to continue its movement across our area. But other than that, the good news, storms weakening right now, but another storm south of downtown that is showing some heavy rain and some lightning. Jeremy.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. We want to go to live pictures. This is the Colony Creek Village area. You can see first responders there at the edge of a road with some significant tree damage here. For folks not familiar with this area, we're talking just east of 249, just north of Louetta. Again, Colony Creek Village. Colony Creek Drive at Bayou Bluff Drive, we are told, and you could already see some folks out with the chainsaws trying to clear that debris that has at least partially fallen on a vehicle there. This is the area that, as we've been hearing anecdotal reports starting to come in, of damage that was the hardest hit, at least that we know of so far. Again, we're talking east of 249 between Luletta Road to the south and Spring Cypress Road to the north. Stubner Airline Road is just to the east of this location. We heard from 2 agencies there, the Klein Fire Department as well as the Emergency Services District number 11. Klein Fire experienced some structural damage to a fence, some fence damage. We're also told a trailer was also moved from where it was in place. And then next door at ESD 11, they also had some damage there, including an outbuilding where 2 maintenance workers were inside that was completely destroyed. Fortunately, no serious injuries there. So we've been on the air now for about an hour, and I want to bring in Chief Meteorologist David Paul just to offer some additional context and perspective to what he's seeing now and going forward. David?
Both of the thunderstorm cells that we're tracking, the one that produced this, looks like it may have produced a tornado in northwest Harris County, did the damage to the outbuilding at the Emergency Services District 11 up there. They're both weakening. There's another one going through the heart of the Houston area right now, also weakening. Lightning count has settled down. You can see the radar behind me. The lightning has let up. That's an indication that the storms are weakening. So it looks like this tornadic thunderstorm went through northwest Harris County, and it appears has done very minor damage. That's the good news. Looks like we may have gotten away without seeing a big tornado on the ground. We're not getting any reports of any significant damage, no significant damage to homes so far. There may be some damage. There may have been a tree come down here and there that's laid on a roof up there. Storm took track through the Cypress area, up through Tomball, tracking across the Spring area now, but it's weakening rapidly. And as Chris Ramirez mentioned just a moment ago, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So at the moment, there are no tornado warnings. But what we have is a very volatile atmosphere. And you're taking a look at some of the action out in the Klein area. We are getting reports of some damage in the Klein area from this storm. So again, we're waiting to see what that is. If it's just some tree damage or more significant, we'll bring that to you as soon as we can. But at the moment, storms are settling down a little bit. The thing is, the atmosphere is very unstable. If you walk outside, you can feel the humidity in the atmosphere, and it's got a south breeze feeding moisture into these storms, and so we're going to remain under the threat for potentially some severe weather now through the tornado watch is in effect until 7 o'clock this evening. We may see more strong thunderstorms late into the evening. And let me just show you what the Weather Service has right now as far as watches up right now. Tornado watch is in effect for basically the northern half of southeast Texas, including Fort Bend County, Harris County, Waller, Austin, Liberty County, and everybody to the north of that until 7 o'clock this evening. That's when our tornado watch is in effect, and that means okay, so we do have our photographer, our videographer, Sergio Soto, talking with someone out there in the Klein area, I believe. Let's listen in.
We're going to take a lot. So explain to the folks at home. So what happened? You were at home, and what? Give it to me. Give me a scenario.
Yeah. So I just got home from work, and the warning came across my phone to make sure to get inside. And so we looked up, and the clouds were moving really fast, and you hear the sound of a freight train. And as I walked in the door, it sucked the door out of my hand, managed to get it closed, and went to a small room inside.
Who was at home with you?
Myself and my sister's fiance. You
all went into a small room?
Yep. Closed the door, waited for the sound to end.
And then this big tree almost missed your house? What happened?
It did, yeah. It uprooted limbs, it landed on the car, trees around us came down. It's pretty scary.
Your home was okay? Is your car okay?
I think so. I think it's just being weighted down. We'll know a little bit more once we get the chainsaw through it.
Okay, and what's your name again?
Fern.
Fern. Thank you, Fern.
Thank you.
David, back to you. I'll try to find somebody else.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Sergio Soto, out there getting the interviews for us. So it looks like we've got some significant tree damage in parts of northwest Harris County. I believe she said she's in the Klein area. We have reports of lots of minor damage in Klein. Again, we're just getting the pictures to you and the reports and seeing what's damaged. I think this is what we're seeing a lot of right here. Trees uprooted and toppled over. There's some fence damage there. You know, just looking at this damage is very reminiscent of a EF0 or EF1 tornado. I'm just totally looking at this and speculating right now. Those are on the low end, but it goes to show you, you know, this is why we take these so seriously. Even the smallest of tornadoes can do this, knock over these big trees, and then that can do significant damage to your home and, of course, be very dangerous to life as well. So these are scenes from the Klein area in northwest Harris County where literally just in the last few minutes, a thunderstorm cell that was warned for a possible tornado has gone through. Look at that huge tree. Look at that. Just uprooted, the whole tree knocked over. It looks like that may have missed the house, but you can see how dangerous even these small tornadoes can be. Had that hit that house, you know, we would have a whole nother picture out there. It looks like that one missed it. And you just kind of wonder, you know, as we're out and about right now, we have crews all over the place looking for damage, getting reports, helping people if we can, that we probably have at least some trees on houses out there. If we don't, we're going to end up being very, very lucky. So just to reboot the weather part of this, during the past hour, we've had a tornado-warned thunderstorm move across northwest Harris County and North Harris County, through the Klein area, Cypress area, through the Tomball area, and then up towards Spring. That storm has now weakened. In fact, you're looking at it right now. Let me zoom out to set your bearings. There's the Houston area, and then we'll zoom in on this storm, and that's what's left of the tornadic thunderstorm. There's no lightning with it. It's literally dying out right in front of us. So that is weakened rapidly after being a very dangerous thunderstorm. As we look across the area, there's another storm that we are watching carefully. And I see now this one has popped a lightning strike near the Channelview area. Let me just put this in motion for you. I'll show you the loop on this one for the past hour. So this is one that we will be watching carefully. And there it is, moving off, racing off to the northeast. These storms are racing at about 35 to 40 miles an hour. This one is not warned, only has had a little bit of lightning and thunder with it. It's producing brief heavy rain. And again, we'll stop the radar. I'll zoom in where this heavy rain is right now. So folks watching us from, there we are, Galena Park, Magnolia Park, Highway 225, where it meets the 610 loop out there. Once again, one of our crews talking with folks in the Klein and northwest Harris County area. Let's listen in.
My neighborhood, because I live almost 2 minutes away across, and I was actually at the Dollar Tree right here.
So tell me, you saw it forming up in the, you looked up and you saw it forming. Was it a wide tornado? Was it a real narrow tornado?
It was really almost like narrow, quick, and it traveled really fast.
Yeah. Did you hear it all? You just saw it?
Just a much thunder and really cracking. That's when you know the trees were coming down.
Did you see any debris being picked up or anything?
Yeah, there was a lot of debris. I was inside the store when it was happening, much of it, but then the power went out to many stores and also the HEB.
So, well, thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
Chris, David,
that really helps. He described a thin, what we call a rope tornado, very thin tornado. Those are usually the weakest ones, EF0, EF1. But this picture right here on your screen is why we take them so seriously, because that tree comes down on your house and your life is at serious risk. And so that's why we've broken into programming. We've been on the air with you here for the past hour. Again, tornado warned thunderstorm that apparently, with eyewitness accounts, did produce at least a weak tornado. Say that one more. Okay, so we can confirm it was a tornado. Okay, we're just confirming. We've had video of the actual tornado, the funnel cloud, and that's quite often what these little ones will do. Is the storm overhead will be rotating. It'll drop down just to treetop level. A very thin EF0, EF1 tornado, winds maybe up to 85, 90 miles an hour or so, and it won't ever actually touch the ground, but it will knock over trees. And it will produce winds at the surface that can knock over your fence and create a very dangerous situation. We spoke earlier, and there it is, and you can see the rotation of the cloud. That's a classic, funnel cloud that's just grazing the treetops. Right there you can see it. That appears to be grazing treetops. So they don't even have to actually touch the ground to cause very dangerous conditions on the ground. And that is what we are seeing, northwest Harris County, Klein area, Spring Cypress, Loretto Road out there in the Spring Cypress area, with not just reports but pictures of trees down, big trees that have come down, fence damage. But so far, Jeremy, we don't have any reports of any major roof damage caused by the wind.
Yeah.
But these, you can see how dangerous even these little ones are with the size of the trees that have come down.
And it's important to note, David, for folks just joining us, kind of the heart of the damage that we have confirmed so far, to set everybody's bearings here. We're talking about east of 249, Highway 249, between 249 and Stubner Airline Road, and then from south to north from Loretto Road to Spring Cypress Road. So we just saw live pictures and we heard from some residents. Our photographer, Sergio Soto, was in the Colony Creek Village subdivision. He was actually at the corner of Colony Creek Drive and Bayou Bluff Drive. So again, if you were to draw a box between 249 and Stubner Airline and then Spring Cypress Road from the north down to Loretto Road to the south, that appears to be kind of the heart of the damage. We saw the video from the ground and heard from residents there. We also got reports from two agencies right in that area. One, the Klein Fire Department. A spokesman there tells us they sustained some fence damage and a trailer was moved. And then next door to that, Emergency Services District number 11, Miranda Shefczyk telling us that they hunkered down and when it rolled through, they sustained some damage to an outbuilding, and in fact, two maintenance workers got caught inside one of those outbuildings that completely, as Miranda described it, folded and was completely destroyed while those workers were inside. Fortunately, we're told they were certainly shaken up, but sustained no serious injuries. We have a crew en route to talk to them. In terms of other impacts to this storm, one, a ground stop, travel at Bush Intercontinental. A ground stop was in effect till 2:30. We're still monitoring to see if that's been extended. Upwards of 170 flights delayed. According to the FAA, the average delay, 75 minutes at the big airport. And then Centerpoint and power outages. Right now we're tracking, according to the company's outage tracker, approximately 21,000 customers without power. In the great scheme of things, for perspective, that is a very small number, which is good news. And circling back to the overall damage, David, it bears repeating, it seems, at least thus far, we're talking about minor damage and no reports of injuries. But as you say, you look at those, 3 feet diameter live oaks coming down, boy, a lot of folks are really lucky. I mean, one barely missed a house, another, well, here you can see a vehicle. Hopefully that is just property damage and no damage and no injuries to life. But boy, oh boy, that is some picture we're looking at right now.
And Jeremy, this is just such a great example. This is why, even for these EF0, EF1 tornadoes that are on the low end, we break in online on the app so that you know what's going on, you can take action. Okay, this is the owner of the vehicle right here. Let's listen in.
So tell me what happened. Were you at home when this happened?
I was at home. I heard the warning came through the phone, and I closed the window, and that was all I was able to do. All of a sudden, it was that proverbial freight train running through the middle of the yard. Sure enough, the backyard, the tree came down, knocked down my awning and everything back there, and then I moved to the front, and the whole front was gone.
How grateful are you that you're not sitting in your truck or about to go to work or anything?
Very grateful I was inside. Never sit in the car, that's for sure.
How much damage do you have to your home?
Oh, it's a lot of damage. The whole back is gone. The whole front, as you can see here, both of these cars are damaged. I don't know. I'm trying to get a hold of Allstate so they can come and tarp up the roof. The roof is 2 weeks old. Just put it on, yeah.
You have some roof damage?
In the back, there's some roof damage that needs to be tarped up before the rain.
How long do you live here?
Only 2.5 years.
So, is this your work truck or something? Looks like
No, this is somebody that was working at the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's your personal car back there?
That's my personal car, yeah.
Okay.
Only had 60,000 miles. Now it's going to be total.
Are you glad you're okay, though?
Yeah, oh, of course, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
David, back to you.
I am so glad to be talking to that gentleman about the damage to his house and car and not something else. That is great news. And we can only hope that that's going to be the situation across Northwest Harris County, where trees came down. We've got some property damage. Gentleman said he has some roof damage. I'll be curious to see if that was caused by wind or if that's part of the tree damage. I believe he said he had a tree come down in his backyard as well. Come again?
Thing there, David.
Okay. So those are other great examples of why we take these so seriously with the tree threat to come down. Jason Miles is live, Northwest Harris County Emergency Services District 11, where it looks like what there is of this funnel cloud or tornado went right through and did some damage. Jason.
Background behind me here off Student Airline Road, you can see the main, more substantial building for the Harris County ESD 11. However, an outbuilding, a metal building, you see pieces of it stuck in the trees out here. It's a smaller building, again, outside of the main Harris County ESD 11 building. According to officials here, 2 employees happened to be in the building that was pretty much destroyed, this outbuilding. Fortunately, we understand that they were not injured in any way, but you can see what this storm did to the metal exterior of this building. To give you a better idea of where this is, we're on Student Airline, not far from Hooks Airport. I'm standing directly across the street from the Klein Fire Department Station number 1. So we're talking about the property of ESD 11, an outbuilding. Not sure what goes on in that building, but according to officials here, 2 employees were inside at the time, but were not injured when this storm came through. You mentioned a funnel cloud. I wasn't sure if it was a funnel cloud or straight line winds, but I've covered enough tornadoes to know that that kind of aftermath is generally indicative of a swirling wind rather than a straight line wind. And our colleague Keith Thompson, who happens to live up in this area, just walked up to me and is showing me that a 6-inch gas line is also open here at the ESD 11 station. So that's why they're keeping us kind of back away from the actual scene here. They have the driveway going up to this building blocked off right now. And I can tell you also, in this area, we came through several major traffic intersections where the lights are not working, the traffic signals are not working. So that's something viewers and those listening definitely need to keep in mind as well. But again, to recap, here at Harris County ESD 11's main facility, an outbuilding was pretty much, as far as I can tell, destroyed by the storm that came through here earlier this afternoon. David?
Those pictures and all the pictures we're getting just tell the story. What we had was a funnel cloud that perhaps reached EF0 to EF1 strength. Those are winds 70 to 90 miles an hour. And it looks like, for the most part, it stayed just at treetop level, but it did have enough strength to knock over trees. And you can see more damage here. Again, this is Northwest Harris County. I believe this is in the Klein area. That looks like where a tree hit the corner of a roof, and that's what we're seeing, is either these very weak structures like this outbuilding at ESD 11, the tin roof has been blown off by the strong winds, and then these big trees have come down and done serious damage to property. Northwest Harris County, Klein area. So far, no reports of any injuries, which is great news because the size of the trees that have come down have been significant. We saw a car that has just been totaled by a tree. There's damage to that vehicle right there, damage to the roof. Well, and there you go. That is a perfect example. These little tornadoes, these funnel clouds, it's called a funnel cloud when it just stays at treetop level, and that's what they'll do. They'll snap off the top third of a tree, and down it comes. And even though it's maybe just the minimal size funnel cloud / tornado, it can do serious life-threatening damage. And so that's why we're here, and that's why we're watching this so carefully. You know, you guys, why don't we do a radar check real quick, just so folks can see what's going on? Okay, we'll get to that. Yeah, let's get to that. Just real quick, and then I want to get back to the pictures. Things have settled down. If you're just tuning in, we had a tornado 1 thunderstorm go across Northwest Harris County. Did significant tree damage. Damage to property has not caused any injuries that we know of so far. That tornado warning has been allowed to expire. There are no more warned thunderstorms. Where are the strongest storms right now? They're here. They're up across our northern counties, now moving into Walker County and across the northern side of Lake Livingston into Trinity County. Both of these storms are racing off to the north northeast at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. There they are now moving into Huntsville. No severe weather warnings for them. I'm not seeing any signs of rotation, but we continue to watch carefully because a tornado watch is in effect until 7 o'clock. That means that conditions are favorable for the development of more tornadoes, more tornadic thunderstorms like the one we saw earlier, all the way through 7 o'clock. So Jeremy Rogowski, we've seen quite a bit of damage across the area. Let's take a look. Let's go over everything that we've seen as far as the damage across the area.
Thank you, David, and I'm joined by main anchor Len Cannon. Quite an afternoon in North Harris County.
Yeah.
Len, we've been kind of zeroing in on the heart of the damage, at least the reports that we've gotten so far. And it bears repeating, we're talking between 249 to the west and Stubner Airline to the east, and then north-south we're talking Spring Cypress Road to Luletta Road. And so in that path we have Colony Creek Village, where our photojournalist Sergio Soto was there. We heard from a couple of residents there, some close calls in that neighborhood.
I heard you mention about 21,000 people without power, relatively minor considering. This is the difficulty of forecasting weather in the area. Here we are in the Galleria area, and it's partly sunny and calm. And here up on the northwest side, we just had this funnel cloud and storm damage. And David talked about it being at tree level. The problem, of course, is when it hits a limb, where does the limb go? I've had that happen, to me at my house, where a limb goes flying onto the roof. Any lower, it's going through the window. So
absolutely,
it sounds like the damage is relatively minor with no injuries, and that's really good news.
We heard from one gentleman who did what we always preach to do. He heard the warning on the phone. He stayed inside, but when he came outside after it blew through, there was a big tree on a pickup truck that belonged to a worker. His personal car had some damage, and his 2-week-old roof sustained some damage as well.
2 weeks old.
Unfortunate, certainly for that gentleman, but he is well to talk about it, and it could have been much worse in that regard.
It's when the trees start going down, it can create so many different issues, whether it's on a roof, on a car, through a window, on a fence. You can see there, like roofing, sheet metal roofing, which is very susceptible to high winds. So this, Glenn, sorry to interrupt, is what we've been talking about this afternoon. This is the outbuilding at that 40-acre complex at Emergency Services District 11. 2 maintenance workers were inside that structure when the storm blew through. We were told by spokesperson Miranda Sefcik that one of them kind of crouched down, another one grabbed to some sort of rack on the wall to brace themselves. Are they okay?
They were shaken up, but no injuries. And I know our Jason Miles is efforting interviews with them. But lots of lucky stories there, because you see that building just kind of fold under itself with 2 people inside.
I saw the warnings coming out earlier. It said till 7 o'clock. And then, of course, now we know how specific that warning was for the northwest side of our viewing area.
Also, the operations safety officer at Hooks Airport saying their main building sustained some damage. We don't know the extent of that. But again, if we map that out, going from southwest to northeast, it just tracked that line between Luletta and Spring Cypress, between 249 to Stubner Airline. And this all occurring about an hour and 20 or so minutes ago.
Yeah, unfortunately, according to David, this system is moving. It's tracking further north into Walker County. What issues will be there, we don't know. But then again, we've got an issue with tornadoes until 7 o'clock tonight to be on the lookout, because you just never know. We see conditions that can be right, and then suddenly, the weather team will go up, and wherever you see that red and purple, that is danger. So fortunately, we've had one incident and high winds.
All right, Sergio Soto, our photojournalist who's been doing great work out there, is talking to the Klein Fire Department.
Chief, can I get your name and title?
Yes, sir. Deputy Chief Stephen Kramer, Klein Fire Department.
Can you give us a status update on the situation?
Yes, we had a tornado warning come through the area about 1:30. And when it did, it took down a number of heavily rooted trees. As you can see in this area, we have several that are down, blocking roads in the yards of many houses. We only have one confirmed house where there's heavy damage. The rest of the homes have already been looked at. Nobody's at home, everybody's out, it's okay. But we do have a lot of debris on the ground. Some of the roadways are blocked with the trees, and that's why we have Engine 33 over here. They're right now trying to get this tree out of the way to open up this roadway, and then we have a few others within the subdivision we need to free also.
You have any reported injuries?
No injuries, none at all. We got lucky.
How lucky are you?
Very lucky on this one.
Did you hear the warning come by when
we all got the alert on our cell phones. We don't have any warning sirens per se, as in some areas of the country. We get everything on the cell phone. Our emergency dispatch is notified of it also. Well, all the fire departments in this area did get the alert. The stations were manned, so when the reports came in of a possible tornado coming through, they were initially dispatched on a heavy box in this neighborhood. And as you can see, this is where we're at right now. Most of the other apparatus, they're running other calls with power lines down, gas lines ruptured, trees on other homes in other areas of our territory.
Hey guys, do you have any questions for the chief?
Yeah, I do. I wonder, he just kind of touched on it, Sergio, about down power lines. In the neighborhood you're in now.
More chainsaws. If the county works department is out,
Yeah, how many power lines do you have down around there?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't tell you because they're just dropping. So we do have a handful, more than that.
More than that?
Yeah.
Hold on. Anything else, Lynn and Jeremy?
Sergio, can you ask the deputy chief about the gas leaks and any dangers they pose to neighbors and homeowners?
Gas leaks around the area.
Well, if we have a ruptured gas leak, it's usually when a tree falls on the gas line that's near the house, it ruptures it, and now we have natural gas. Instead of it being in a safe, confined area, it's now exposed. So we have to send an apparatus over there to keep everybody out of the area, keep it stable, keep it safe, and notify Intex, have them come on over there so they can shut the meter off.
I see you have a lot of residents helping out the fire department.
Yeah, they're a great neighborhood out here. Everybody's out here with chainsaws, rakes, shovels, doing anything they can to help everybody, their neighbor.
I cut you off earlier. You had a message for Harris County if the people had
if the Harris County Public Works, they can send somebody down here. Yeah, we still need a lot of chainsaws and heavy equipment to move some of these trees out of here.
Can you give people an area where the need is?
Oh yeah, it's at Bayou Bluff and Colony Creek. That's the street that we're at right now.
Okay, Chief, I'll let you go, guys.
All righty, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Back to you.
All right, Sergio, thanks so much. A lot of cleanup work to be underway there in the Colony Creek Village subdivision. I think the takeaway, Glenn, from that deputy chief is, quote, when he said, "We got lucky."
Very, very lucky, but in spite of that, numerous down power lines across the northwest part of our viewing area. You heard the chief talking about it, plus a ruptured gas line. And they need some folks to come out and, if they can, help. They need as many chainsaws as possible. You can see all the down trees here, and folks with chainsaws starting to cut up and get it out of the way. A lot of streets are blocked up in the area, so they're trying to take care of that, and of course trying to restore power to folks who have lost power.
I do want to mention an update just coming in on travel at Bush Intercontinental. The ground stop, according to the FAA, Glenn, has been lifted. That was in place until 2:30. That has been lifted, but according to the website FlightAware, nearly 200 flights departing from Bush Intercontinental are still delayed. The average delay for those departures, 75 minutes. So a big headache and hassle at the big airport. Let's check in back with David Paul on what he's monitoring. David?
We continue to watch the weather situation. For the moment, it has calmed down, guys. That is great news. We are under a tornado watch until 7 o'clock this evening. That means conditions will stay favorable for the possibility of a tornado. I want to echo what the chief up there said. We got lucky, got real lucky, seeing the size of these trees that have come down and missing most of the house, or what they hit, there was no one in it. We saw a gentleman whose car was just smashed like a pancake. He wasn't in it. Good. So maybe we're going to get away with this without any significant injuries. All the pictures I'm seeing of this funnel cloud that went through, it may just be, it will be designated a funnel cloud. It did not touch down, but it was at treetop level, and that's all it takes to bring down big trees and snap them off at the top or just uproot them. It doesn't have to touch down to do that, and so this may be that we've got an EF0, EF1 funnel cloud that has done all this damage, but that's why we take these things so seriously. Those are pictures from earlier. What you're seeing there is a rotating supercell. You can see the swirl at the top of the screen. That's the larger parent rotation in the storm, and then as it focuses underneath that, it drops down to a point. And that's what you see, and that's the funnel cloud there at the tip of the point, right at treetop level, just skirting along the trees in northwest Harris County about an hour and a half ago. That's what caused the damage, and that is what it looked like as the tornado-warned thunderstorm moved across northwest Harris County. You can see the broad rotation in the larger cloud base and then the little tip dipping down. And then this is the type of damage we're seeing. I mean, that will take life if you're in it. Thank goodness no one was in it. So big trees have come down as this funnel cloud skipped across at treetop level, uprooted this one. Looks like it missed the house. Lucky, again, as the chief said, guys, I think we may have gotten real lucky with this one. Once again, we're monitoring the radar. We're under the threat for tornadoes through at least 7 o'clock tonight. That may have to be extended. At the moment, though, all warnings have been allowed to expire.
Okay, warnings expired. The watch continues, meaning conditions are still right for a possibility. These things can happen so fast. David, thank you. Keith Tomsky, let's go to him, our photographer, editor. He's in his neighborhood that was, I believe, affected. Keith, where exactly are you? What are you seeing?
All right, we don't have Keith on mic, but we did see some video again of that outbuilding, Len, at ESD 11 where those two maintenance workers were in. Again, this is in the Klein area, and we've been talking to give folks kind of a bigger picture and set their bearings. This is the area between 249 and Stubner Airline Road, and then Spring Cypress to the north and Louetta to the south. The video that we've been seeing from photojournalist Sergio Soto was at the corner of Colony Creek Drive and Bayou Bluff Drive.
Bayou Bluff, yeah.
And the Colony Creek Village subdivision there. Lots of down power lines still. Last check, Centerpoint Energy reports about 20,600 customers out. Of course, that's across their entire coverage area. Relatively minor when you're looking at 2.2 million Centerpoint customers.
Yeah.
We're talking a fraction of 1%. So that's the good news on that front.
And typically Centerpoint does a fairly good job, especially after the complaints about Beryl, of making sure they get in. They have targeted teams that go in and try and get the power back on as quickly as possible.
And they've also upgraded some of their gadgets, for lack of a better word, where they can shut off where something is, power is stopped and kind of reroute it from the back end. So millions of dollars since Beryl and the derecho from last year have poured in to try to make restoration times not so brutal.
And that, and they've tried to clear areas that are problems with vegetation.
Correct.
And this is a big area, so it's going to take some time, and they're still working on that. But these things can happen. These kinds of weather events, and David knows, you know this, living here a long time, they can happen. The conditions are right, and then boom, you see what happens with trees on cars, and fortunately, nobody in them, no houses seriously damaged, roof damage, obviously,
and the cavalry's coming in, and as we heard from Deputy Chief, some of these are official first responders, and some of them are just
volunteers,
good old Samaritans, and that's Texans helping Texans, which is really neat to see when people are in times of need. Help comes pouring out, and they'll make some quick work of that, I promise you, and get that area cleared out and traffic moving.
And this is, fortunately, what we can say about Houston is when you're looking for solutions to a problem, folks watch, they see the need, they go out with their own chainsaws, they help the firefighters, they help the emergency crews to start cutting up and moving some of this stuff a lot faster, by providing more bodies on the problem.
So David, Paul, if we could bring you back in, starting this morning with our meteorology team, you all issued a weather impact alert for, I believe it was initially 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., correct me if I'm wrong, and that window came true.
Yeah.
In terms of the threat, or the most serious threat, because that tornado warning, I believe, hit about just after 1. I'm not exactly sure on the timing, but there you go.
So this process with the weather team actually started Saturday. We were looking at the setup, we were discussing it Saturday, needed another day to look at some more model data, so it was Sunday that we issued the weather impact alert for today. So we try to get these out, at least a day in advance, so you can plan and know to have notifications on, so that we can get the information to you as soon as possible if that severe weather does strike. So again, we issued this weather impact alert yesterday for today, for this time period, and that forecast has verified. We ended up with this tornadic thunderstorm that's done the damage up here in Northwest Harris County. Again, that was a weather impact alert issued by the Channel 11 weather team yesterday afternoon for this potential weather event. We were talking about this. We wanted to, this was borderline, but we wanted to go ahead and issue it yesterday with an abundance of caution, because so many people have family coming in, you've got flights, you've got travel, and you're busy. So, having the KHOU app, having notifications on, weather impact alert, we're there just so that you can just turn notifications on, and then if this does verify and you get severe weather, you'll get the information right there. And when we go live, it's right there in your hand. That's why we're here, that's what we're doing. This tornado watch and the weather impact alert, tornado watch until 7 o'clock. Impact alert, we're going to extend that late into the evening. This may end up being where we get more severe weather with straight line wind and heavy rain until late into the evening tonight. So for the moment, we remain under the weather impact alert because tornado watch is in effect for basically the northern half of our viewing area, and that's until 7 o'clock. That's from the National Weather Service. And then just looking at the severe weather threat, it basically includes the northern half of the area, but it includes all of the immediate Houston area, and even South Houston is included in this threat. I am keeping an eye on the radar as we're watching the first responders and the chainsaws get to work. I'm not seeing anything right now threatening on radar, but we will basically be watching the radar like a hawk the rest of the afternoon, because these storms can spin up and become severe and produce these funnel clouds under these conditions with very little warning. So we're just going to watch it like a hawk and turn on notifications. If you got the app, turn on notifications so that if you're out and about, you'll get it. And if you've got severe weather in your area, you can take action to keep your family safe. So once again, this is the aftermath of a tornadic thunderstorm that moved through Northwest Harris County. It appears what we had is a funnel cloud at treetop level that has knocked down a whole lot of trees in the Klein area. And it's the downed trees that have caused damage on the ground and to homes and to cars and to businesses. We had a small building damage at Emergency Services District 11 in Northwest Harris County. And now it's the chainsaws are out cleaning this up. And I think I'm going to echo the Klein Fire Chief's words a little earlier when he said we got lucky. We so far have been very lucky. This one knocked down some trees, but no injuries are reported, which is great news. Anytime you get a funnel cloud or tornado going through one of our heavily populated areas like Northwest Harris County and no one gets injured, that's a stroke of luck, and we will take it. But like I said, we're going to continue to monitor the radar very carefully. And it may just be an afternoon where we have to break in a couple of times to let you know what's going on out there. Again, damage appears to be to property and trees. We have no reports of any significant injuries. Klein Fire Department Chief says no injuries reported. Good, very good. And now these guys are out there straining their backs with the chainsaws to get this cleaned up, because these trees have come down across roadways up there in the Klein area, and they've got to be cleared. You can see the radar on the left-hand side. Let's just leave it up as we're watching them do the cleanup. We'll go do a quick little radar tour. Big picture, strongest storms up here moving through the north side of Lake Livingston between Huntsville and Trinity. Not a severe storm, but that one's going to cross across the north side of Lake Livingston here over the next few minutes. Gusty wind, brief heavy rain. It's not severe for the moment. Zooming out northwest side, so here's Austin County. You can see a strong thunderstorm. This one right over Belleville. It is moving northeast, so Hempstead, Waller, that's moving in your direction. You guys will get a thunderstorm coming across your area soon. At the moment, not severe, not showing any significant signs of rotation. Those are the two strongest storms. What you also see as we zoom out is a line of storms to the west, and that is going to take the rest of the afternoon to push through. That line of thunderstorms coming into the west-northwest. So really from I-10 north, that's where we have the greatest threat for the next several hours, as this line of thunderstorms associated with a Pacific storm system, and this is a cold front that's going to push through. Once this pushes through, it will open the door to cooler weather. Let's walk through the forecast, the radar forecast for the rest of the afternoon. Here's where we stand now. We go into 4:30, and you can see it's the north side with the strongest threat for thunderstorms as the broken line of storms comes through. This is 6 p.m. We'll still be monitoring the radar. We'll still be under a tornado watch at 6 p.m. Strong thunderstorms possible from I-10 north through Spring and the Woodlands and Huntsville and up to Montgomery. There's 7:30. You can see this line is just going to take its sweet time coming through, and with the conditions favorable, we could still see an isolated severe thunderstorm. We go into 10 o'clock. May see a strong line of storms across the Houston area, up and down the I-59-69 corridor by 10 o'clock. So this is a slow-moving line. By 1 a.m., pushing into the coastal counties, and then finally off the coast after 3 o'clock, and by 5 a.m., we're done. And that should begin the process of opening the door to some cooler weather coming in, which will be welcome. So once again, we remain under a tornado watch until 7 o'clock. The severe threat specifically for folks along the I-10 corridor and northward, that's the area outlined in yellow. Straight line wind damage, isolated tornado, hail threat, all there now through 7 o'clock. And again, here's the official tornado watch from the Weather Service until 7 p.m. this evening. As I said, we'll be monitoring the radar carefully, and this is what we were doing this morning when this tornado popped up just after lunchtime. Monitoring the radar carefully right now, not seeing any signs of rotation with these storms across the north and west side, but that can change very quickly, and so we'll be ready to break in if that becomes necessary, if we get another one of these tornadic thunderstorms. But right now things have settled down. And, you know, as we lose some of the heating of the day, you know, especially get into 6, 7 o'clock, hopefully the threat will indeed begin to diminish. You're looking at damage on the right-hand side. What we had is a funnel cloud just skip across the treetops in northwest Harris County. And that has brought down several trees and cracked the tops of several trees off. They've come down. They've caused damage to roof and cars. So far, no reports of any injuries, which is great news, but people are busy with the chainsaws out there.
Yeah, David, I'm joined with Mia Gradney right now, and Mia, I know you spend quite a bit of time in this area. You're familiar with the neighborhoods,
Extremely
et cetera.
familiar, I am, yes. So this is the area that I grew up in, Spring, Klein. I'm out here at least once a week in this area, and you can see just how large those trees are. So really, when you get up into north and northwest Harris County, Spring, Klein area, you're talking about a forested area, towering pine trees. In fact, my parents built their house in Spring because of the pine trees, and it reminded my mother of deep northeast Texas where she grew up. But here's the problem with those trees.
When you have tree-line winds.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Or tornado.
You know, and it doesn't even have to be the entire tree, just these very mature limbs that can fall on your home, on your property, on your roof line, and cause severe damage. And I heard the chief, I believe it was.
Yeah, the deputy chief.
Deputy chief, forgive me, I'm not sure which department he's with.
Klein.
Thank you, Klein. So I heard him talking about they need people to come and help clear these roads. Here's the thing, because those trees, they fall, they prohibit people from coming and going, but then they also fall on power lines. So here's the thing, if you go out to help, you need to be extra careful and extra cautious. And please look for those down power lines. You don't know where they may be. And I feel like sometimes when the sun is out, you know, and the imminent threat is over, we let up on our safeguard. So please be careful. And you know, Houstonians, they will show up in a heartbeat to help out. I have so many family members with chainsaws. I guarantee you somebody will be out there soon. But please be careful. You have neighborhoods out there, they're all named after forests. You have Champion Forest, you have Shannon Forest. So these trees, while beautiful, are the biggest threat when we have these storms that are a wind-driven, wind-fueled storm.
I have, and thank you for your patience, Eddie Cruz with the Cy-Fair Fire Department. Eddie, you're still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
I'm going to put you next to my microphone so people can hear you. You had an incident with some of your firefighters got trapped. Explain what happened.
Yes, we got notice that our Cy-Fair Engine 11 was sent to check on a lightning strike on a home. When they got there, they had to take cover in the garage. They're stating that for approximately 45 seconds to a minute, waiting for the tornado to pass by. Luckily, they are fine. There are no injuries to any civilians in the area. It seems like it's just all structural damage right now and down power lines.
Okay, and what do you say? Mia mentioned being careful. I wouldn't advise people just go out and start cutting away without being aware of where the power lines are, or at least checking with the fire department, perhaps?
That is correct. If there is a smell of gas in the area, contact the gas company and obviously the fire department. Also, if you notice down power lines, which there's probably a lot in the area, I know we have a confirmed down power line on Barker Cypress, close to the Riata Ranch subdivision. Stay away. It's extremely dangerous. Call the authorities and obviously call the light company, make sure they come out, turn off the power. But yes, stay away before you start going out there and trying to help. I know everybody right now in these situations wants to help, but it's best to leave it to the experts. And once we give the all clear, and then maybe people could come out and help.
We know there haven't been any injuries, and I know you mentioned the down power line, but do we know of any severe damage to any homes there where we have trees in homes and trying to tend to that as well?
At least in the Cypress area, what I'm getting from the crews out in the field right now is that there are some homes in the Riata Ranch subdivision that had their garage doors blown open. I do have a report of maybe some down chimneys in the homes. Fence line, which again we worry about the gas meters being damaged and there being natural gas escaping. So that's why I'm saying if you have an odor of gas in the area, try to make sure that you turn off any ignition sources and contact the gas company and the fire department.
So Chief, your firefighters right now, they are active. What is their main priority at the moment in the community?
Eddie, you still there?
Yes, I'm sorry, what was that?
Mia was asking, with the people that you have that are out and working, what's your main priority right now?
With your firefighters right now.
With the firefighters.
Right, our main priority is making sure that there are no civilians that have been injured. Of course, we do worry about the natural gas that may have escaped. We are worried about the power lines, so we're going block by block in that subdivision, making sure our priority right now is to make sure that there's no injured civilians.
And tell me again the subdivision you're talking about.
It's the Riata Ranch subdivision, so 290, Barker Cypress, close to the 290 area.
Barker Cypress near 290, but no injuries.
No injuries reported yet.
All right, this is Eddie Cruz, Public Information Officer, Cy-Fair Fire Department. Eddie, thank you. We'll call you back if you have any updates. I'm glad your firefighters are okay when they had to hunker down.
Oh, yeah, well, thank you.
All right, thanks, Eddie Cruz. So just an example of how fast things can change. David talks about this all the time. The weather team talks about it. They issued a weather impact alert yesterday, but you just don't know. You can't. It's hard for them to pinpoint exactly when and how significant. And so we ended up having a tornado this afternoon that was treetop level. And then you see, based on the video that we've been showing you, trees knocked down, power lines knocked down, some garages, you heard Cy-Fair Fire Department say, blown out doors. roofs damaged,
fence
cars,
lines, and it doesn't
fence
take
lines.
yeah,
Doesn't take much.
Yeah, and a lot of backyards end up becoming. Dave and I talk about this from time to time. Your backyard sometimes ends up becoming a wind vortex, right?
Yes.
And that wind really gets stirred, and it doesn't take much, especially if your fence is older, for the wind to push those fences down. And here's the thing: so you're going to want to get out. You're going to want to survey the damage and everything, as you should. Safety first. Just remember that. You know, he talked about gas meter damage concerns. I know a lot of us think of power lines, especially with all the fallen trees that we've seen, but Eddie Cruz with Cy-Fair Fire Department, he did mention that, you know, those trees and those fences may have toppled onto some gas meters as well too. So if you smell anything, he's asking folks
Call
to
the authorities.
please go ahead and call in and report that. In the meantime, the fire department, the Cypress Fire Department, they're going to be going, he said, and doing neighborhood sweeps, right? And so they'll be looking for those things. They'll be, you know, checking the air to see if there's any sign of gas. They'll also be looking for downed power lines as well too.
Yeah, the deputy chief of Klein, Stephen Kramer, did say they have a ruptured gas line that they've been dealing with, and they're focusing on that area to make sure that they can seal that and make sure that folks can return to the area. But they cleared people out while they fix the rupture.
You know, and here's the thing, not that there's ever good timing for this type of weather, right? But here we are, it's Thanksgiving week. A lot of people home, the kids are off. You see more people in that neighborhood than usual at this time of day. But you know, here we go with the holidays, kicking off the holidays, and this is what we're dealing with. But keep in mind, people are also expecting people coming into town. So I know some flights have been impacted at our airports, especially up at Bush at IAH. So, you know, if you just keep heading east on 1960, so 1960 runs all the way far west out to Cypress, all the way essentially to West Harris County, right? All the way east you keep going, it'll run into 59 once 59 swings north, but right in that pocket, that eastern corridor of 1960 is Bush Intercontinental Airport. So we know flights are impacted there. We're going to work to get some more information in case you are expecting loved ones, and you need to let them know you're probably going to be delayed picking them up if they are able to land if you live in Northwest Harris County.
Yeah, they had some delays. They lifted the ground stoppage a little bit earlier, but then of course it takes time to kind of get back up to speed to allow flights in or to take off, etc. Again, you're looking at video on the right of some of the damage we've seen on the northwest side of Harris County, and on the left is the radar. David has said that we have a tornado watch in effect, not a warning, but a watch in effect until 7 p.m. because the conditions remain right for there to be a potential for another tornado. But for now, he said things have started to clear up, and that storm is moving further to the north, but you also have a line moving west to east that could create a problem, and that's why the watch is in effect until 7 o'clock.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. Are we talking out a full-blown, all-out tornado? No. It doesn't take very much. In fact, I know David has been cautious to characterize it, right? Because there's a lot of
EF0,
there's
EF1.
a lot of scientific information. He said if he had to guess, though, right? Because there's a lot of scientific information that has to be formally declared. But we do know it looks like clearly a funnel cloud and some severe wind activity. Curious to know what the mile per hour was on those winds.
David was guessing, you know, roughly 75 miles an hour. That's Cat 1 hurricane strength. That'll do it. That'll take out trees and power lines and rupture gas lines, and that's exactly what we're seeing in some roofs. And you can see this building that knocked over, and some of these tin roofs that fall over out in some fields. So
a lot of storage type facilities often that are built out of tin and some plexiglass, fiberglass material that's a little bit lightweight, not your traditional brick home there as we're seeing. There's that tin that we just talked about, likely taken either from someone's garage or from, again, storage that they have as well too. Katir Winfrey is out in Spring. Katir, do you know what neighborhood you're in? Give us an idea of where you are and what you're seeing.
Hey, we're in a neighborhood just off of 249. Justin, do you know the name of this neighborhood?
Colony Creek Village.
Colony Creek Village. So we are in this neighborhood. Take a look behind me. You can see a lot of people are working to remove some of these trees. We got a chance to speak to Justin. I want to have Soto show you just how big this tree is. This tree has fallen across this yard. It was spread across the street, and just looking at all the neighbors coming together to clear this out of the road, that's what brought us to Justin here. He's one of the many people who's out here sweating, putting in that labor to try to get this tree out of the road. So talk a little bit about what happened when the sound, did you hear the sound? How'd you know that tree came crashing?
I was actually on the phone with my mom when the tornado came through, and she heard it, got to cover, and then I got a call from my fiance that lives just a few doors down from her. So I came here to do a check on them. I saw there were trees down and fences down, and wanted to just pitch in and lend a helping hand.
That's the one thing that I really love about Texans. When we have a situation like this, everybody almost immediately jumps in. No one has to ask. They just do it. Is that what you saw this time around?
Always, you know, many hands make light work. And so as soon as I showed up, there were several people here helping out the firefighters. And so I figured I would just pitch in and help. There's another tree down there, but this was the closest to me. So yeah, but that's what Texans do. Every time there's a hurricane, people are always so quick to help. There's people passing out waters and using chainsaws and lifting branches. So yeah, it's been great.
When you said that, I just heard a woman say, do y'all need some water? And so that kind of makes a really sad or possible scary situation a little bit lighter to know there's people around who care about you.
Always, yeah. You know, when there's someone that wants to help, not everyone can cut and lift firewood, but everyone can do something. And so you see people out here with rakes even and picking up little branches and big branches and everything. So yeah.
And you're sweaty, you're dirty. Talk about how this is worth it if it means helping clear out your community and just lending a helping hand.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if there's an emergency, the roads need to be cleared. And so the sooner we can get the roads cleared, the safer everyone is. You know, there's people here who may be on dialysis or don't have power and need to get to the hospital. So if the roads are blocked with trees, it creates a bit of a pinch point. So the faster we can get it done, the better it is for everyone.
Well, Justin, thank you so much. I know you have a lot more work to do. Hopefully your community gets cleared out, but thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
And Justin's the kind of people we're talking about, but he's not the only one in this neighborhood doing so much work. I'm going to kind of spin us around and see, you can see all of the trees this way. There's a lot of damage this way. Take a look at this young lady. It kind of shows you the sizing of the damage, but she even just tossed a piece of a branch into the pile. So it just shows you that Texas spirit of people getting involved and helping out. I'm going to walk a little bit closer in here, trying to stay out of the way because people are using chainsaws and different things, but they've made quick work of this tree that has come down in the middle of the road. You can see all of the logs that are cut in half and just making way for first responders and anyone else who might need to get through this area. But as Justin mentioned, we talk about that Texas spirit and people almost immediately jumping into action to get things cleared. Didn't need to be asked. They saw a problem and they got to work. Just looking around this neighborhood, we have seen some damage to fences, but so far no damage on houses. But of course, we're only on this one street, but you can see there are some trees here, possibly landed on this car at some point. But again, people just working together to try to make quick work of this. This is not something I'm sure they were expecting to have to be a part of when they got up this morning. But as Texans do, we know how to get in there and get dirty and help our fellow neighbors. So we're going to be sticking around in this neighborhood and just monitoring it and hopefully talking to some more people to see if there's any damage or any power outages that they'll be able to report to us. Mia?
Okay, Katira, thank you. I want to ask you, because I know you just got there not too long ago, what was it like? What did you observe on your way there, especially once you got into that neighborhood? Did it seem as though this tornadic activity skipped over some streets, or was it pretty much every street that you were having to dodge some downed trees and such?
Well, I'm happy you asked that because just driving in, you wouldn't expect you turn a corner and you see this many trees down. Driving into this area, it looked just like a calm Monday morning. You didn't see any trees down, you didn't see any debris, but as soon as we hit this corner, we saw all of the trees across the ground and on the road and the people out here getting to work.
Katira's in the Colony Creek Village subdivision. A lot of firefighters behind you doing the work and other folks, and I see a lot of kids out because they many of them do not have school because it's Thanksgiving week.
Yes.
All right, Katira Winfrey, thank you. Up in Spring, you continue to talk to folks there as they try and clean up, and hopefully this is the worst of it is over.
We can only hope, although we know we have until 7 o'clock, so we have a little less than 4 hours to go until the threat is completely gone for sure. I want to bring in David Paul as well, too. Here's the thing. David grew up in Spring. I grew up in Spring, so we're both very familiar with this area. And tons of pine trees. And pine trees have a shallow root system. That's one reason why they go crashing when you have these winds. And they seem to be the major threat and the major thing causing the damage as we look at all the video and the imagery from Northwest Houston as well, too.
Well, yeah, as you mentioned, Mia, we live in a forest up there. So much of Houston is a forest. And anytime we have a windstorm, be it a funnel cloud like this, tornado on the ground or landfalling tropical system, it is trees coming down and limbs coming down that become one of the biggest threat, if not the biggest threat. If it's just a wind situation, it's one of the biggest threats. Those limbs were so forested, they can hit everything, power lines, your car, your house. And so that's what we've seen up there in the Klein area. And thank goodness, no injuries reported. We had a couple of cars that were severely damaged. These are pictures from the Klein area, fences down, very typical of EF0 tornadic wind strength. So what is an EF0 tornado? Those have winds from 65 to 85 miles an hour. In this case, all the pictures I'm seeing show me that this never touched the ground. So this may just go down as a funnel cloud that skipped across at treetop level, and that produced enough wind at the surface to knock down fences and to bring down these trees. And we saw pictures of trees snapped in half off the top, and that's what you'll get when these funnel clouds skip across the top. I believe you're looking at our camera. That is ESD 11. That is Emergency Services District 11. I believe that's their ambulance building. And this is where we had the funnel cloud go right through, damaged a small building on the property. And again, that's exactly the type of damage you would expect to see with an EF0 wind, 65 to 85 miles an hour. Small sheds. This is it right here. That is classic. You look at that, those would be winds 65 to 85 that would damage a building like that. It's an outbuilding, it's a weak structure, and winds like that will cause the metal roof and siding to be damaged and come down. Again, that's out at the Emergency Services District 11. This again is out at Northwest Harris County, ESD 11, and the tin roof being blown like a sail. So that's what happened. But it just goes to show, this is why we break in even for these minimal tornadic thunderstorms, because these small ones can absolutely do life-threatening damage. And so when this happens, this is why you go to an interior room of your home away from windows on the first floor and just try to get away from windows, get away from the exterior walls, so you'll have more house around you. So if a tree or debris does come down on you, you've got a better chance of staying safe. That's what we're seeing right now. Let me give you a real quick wrap up on weather, and then I'll toss it back to you guys. Tornado watch is in effect until 7 o'clock this evening. So we will stay under the threat for severe weather and possibly a tornado through 7 o'clock this evening. And it's basically I-10 corridor northward across the area. It includes Fort Bend County, but Harris County, Waller County, Austin County, Liberty County, and then north, Huntsville northward. Everybody under tornado watch until 7 o'clock. So what that means is that all the conditions are there that can produce another tornadic thunderstorm like we've seen earlier. And the Storm Prediction Center also, with their storm prediction threat, it's a 2 out of a 5. When we see a 2 out of a 5, we expect that we will see at least 1 or 2 isolated tornado warnings, and that's exactly what we've seen. Now, this was issued yesterday and was part of Channel 11's issuing a weather impact alert day for today. We issued that yesterday because we could see the conditions were there, and so that goes out to the app, turn on notifications, and that'll keep you safe. You'll know if something's in your area. So we're looking at the radar now, and everything has settled down for the moment. We can take a look at where the strongest storms are now, and a couple of things you'll see. We've got this line coming into our north and west side, moving in northern Grimes County. Not severe. It is producing enough rain to cause some minor street ponding near Centerville. That's going to sweep across the area. So Huntsville, Montgomery, Trinity, Lake Livingston, Lake Conroe, you're going to get another line of scattered thunder showers come across. And between now and 7 o'clock, it'll have the opportunity to perhaps produce another funnel cloud. So that's why we're watching this so very carefully. You've already seen the damage that can be done. Strong thunderstorm across Unalaska, north side of Lake Livingston. That is now weakening as it moves northeast towards Seven Oaks and Corrigan. And then zooming back out northwest side, so we have these individual thunderstorm cells. When you see these individual cells that look like a little ball, these are the ones that we really monitor carefully. These are the ones that are most likely to rotate if they're going to rotate. And so I've been watching these really carefully. We've been looking inside the storm with Doppler radar. Doppler can show if we've got rotation or not. There is no significant rotation with any of these near Navasota and Brenham and Waller. Right now, they are moving across southern Grimes County, western Montgomery County, Lake Conroe, Montgomery area, and then that's going to sweep toward Huntsville and Walker County. You know, heads up, you're going to get another round of at least scattered thunderstorms come through, and we're monitoring that carefully in case it becomes more severe.